Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Utility Safety and Environment Committee meeting agenda for Wednesday, May 8th, 2024. The first item on our agenda is the approval of the April 17th, 2024 Utility Committee meeting minutes. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. The next item on the agenda is the matter of Elyria Codified Ordinance 33-1.45, texting while driving, to be recodified as a main offense instead of a secondary offense. Chief Pelko.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, so we would just like this ordinance recodified to read, the city ordinance recodified to read as the state ORC revised code. That will make it a primary offense, so our officers can stop individuals violating this law as a primary offense, and then they can be cited and fined through the city.
I understand from the commercials that the fine is $150. That does not change just because it's the city of
No,
Elyria.
that doesn't change. That's correct.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Chief Pelko? Mr. Oswald?
Through you, Madam Chair, question. So to find out, let's say you pull somebody over and they seen that, it looked like they were texting, so you pull them over.
So right now, we wouldn't be able, sorry to interrupt, but right now, we wouldn't be able to pull them over because it's a secondary, well, we could pull them over because it's a state offense, but if we pull them over as a city offense, it would have to be, you have to pull them over for speed or something else and then cite them. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I appreciate that. My question being that, are you allowed to take your phone and look on their phone to know that they were texting at that certain time?
We would probably have to get a search warrant for their phone. Pretty much, if they have their phone in their hand, the laws read is they can't have their phone in their hand unless they're making an emergency phone call or they're stopped at a stoplight or pulled over to the side of the road. So eventually we could probably take their phone if we have to and then go get a search warrant in order to look at it if it would rise to that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for Chief Pelko? Seeing none, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of amending Elyria Codified Ordinance 33-1.45, texting while driving prohibited. And this is an ordinance to amend said Codified Ordinance 331.45 to make the offense of texting while driving a main offense, for which police can stop subjects for this violation and to mirror the state law, Ohio Revised Code 4511.204. Emergency clause is requested. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Armstrong, Mr. Oswald, second by Mr. Armstrong. Are there any other questions?
Call for the question.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Chief Pelko. The next item on the agenda is the matter of a Nature Works grant application through Ohio Department of Natural Resources, which, if awarded, funds would be used for the Pocket Park project. Unfortunately, Mrs. Reardon isn't here. Oh, Mr. Pianowski, please.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Chair. Director Reardon had other opportunities this evening, so I told her I would take care of discussing this and answering any questions. So as you indicated, this is an ODNR grant for a Nature Works application, which we would like to use at the Pocket Park on the corner of near the South Library. And so it would be used in the entryway. And so Nature Works is like a ground cover. It's kind of like it's not concrete, but it's like impressed stones kind of thing. And so it would be used in the entryway and underneath the swings and couple other spaces. Traditionally or historically, the grant has been for about $40,000. We would have a 25% matching requirement of $10,000 approximately should we be awarded the grant. And we've already got that money appropriated. So as far as our commitment, should we get the grant, we've already got that covered. So really this would help us with covering some of the other costs should we be awarded the grant. So that's the goal, to use somebody else's money to pay for some of it, which we always like to. Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
know if the timeline that we would receive the grant, would we be able to implement the Pocket Park this summer?
I do believe that is the goal, and I don't know if that's contingent on the grant. This is a reimbursement grant, so we could move forward and not delay our progress because of the grant.
Okay.
Pay for it and get reimbursed if we were awarded it. But I do think that the plan is to move forward with some of the progress for the Pocket Park. I can ask Director Reardon to send an email out to council about the park as a whole and the time frame that we're working with, but we have asked her to start moving forward with that, and so I think this is a piece of that plan. The drawings that I've seen are really interesting, and I can ask her to share that with you guys as well, with council as a whole, maybe tomorrow. But I'll ask her to give you guys an update.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions for Safety Service Director Inowski? Seeing none, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of a request to apply for an ODNR Nature Works grant. This is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to apply for and accept said grant through Ohio Department of Natural Resources. Grant funds will be used for the development of the West Avenue Pocket Park. Emergency clauses requested due to application deadline. Mr. Brunig.
Can we just add to that committee report, Mrs. Mitchell, that there is a 25% city match? I did not hear that being read. Thank you.
Thank you. I added that there is a 25% city match to the grant. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Oswald, second by Mr. Armstrong. Are there any other questions?
Question.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next item is the matter of purchase of materials for updating the security system at the water pumping plant, water towers, and pump stations. Superintendent Jacobs.
Through you, Madam Chair. We'd like to update the security system at the water plant to 5 water towers and 2 pump stations. The existing system is about 16, 17 years old. The cameras are going, et cetera. This system was designed by the city IT department. Everything's going to be done in-house by the IT department and the water plant maintenance and water plant electrician. The majority of the material is going to be purchased from CDWG under the state contract, won't exceed $120,000. The rest of the material is piecemealed through different vendors. IT told me it should be under like 70, so the total cost should be under 200,000. And the money's already been appropriated in 2024 budget.
Very good. I think security at the water plants is very important. Are there any questions for Mr. Jacobs? Seeing none, were you done? Oh, Mr. Brunig, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mrs. Mitchell. Not to belabor anything, I just want some clarity, Mr. Jacob, on the purchasing. It sounds like the majority of this is through the state list. The rest of it is not. It's going to be under 70,000. What are we authorizing tonight? Are we authorizing everything or just the state purchase list right now?
The state purchase list.
Okay, so that's what we're talking about. So the ordinance is authorizing just the state purchase
Right,
list.
and the rest of them will be under, excuse me, through you, Madam Chair, the rest of the parts will be through numerous different vendors,
Okay,
like security doors, cables, all that.
okay. And each individual item with an individual vendor will be under that limit that
Yes.
we've talked
Yes,
about,
sir.
so you can do that without benefit of ordinance. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Seeing none, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of the purchase of materials for updating the security system at water pumping, water towers, and pump stations. And this is an ordinance for the purchase of material for updating the said security system at a cost not to exceed $120,000, and funds have been appropriated in the 2024 water pumping budget. Emergency clause is requested. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Oswald, second by Mr. Armstrong. Are there any other questions?
Question?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Mr. Jacobs. There is no other business to come before this committee. I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Moved, it's been properly moved in second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Good night, everyone. Thank you.